Hey YouTube, Piping Beardsman here. Wanted to do a follow-up video on my last Yabo, the Morgan Pipe Yabo. What I'm doing right now is actually smoking out of my Briar cigar. I apologize for, not like Chris Morgan, but those of you watching, by referring to this as the Briar Pipe. Kind of an oxymoron. I think the majority of the pipes out there these days are probably Briar. Those of you that smoke the meerschaums, my apologies, corn cobs, etc., etc. In any event, what I'm doing right now is I'm smoking my Morgan Pipes Briar cigar, and I'm actually smoking a bit of the Seattle Club's Mississippi River in my Briar cigar. And to be quite honest with you, though the greater majority of the videos that I watched suggested smoking flake tobacco, the Mississippi River seems to be doing quite well. Not that the flake tobacco suggestion is something that I would consider trying at some point in the future. In any event, so far, a very excellent smoke. And I would like to point out the fact that in all of the videos that I've watched previous to my own personal experience, that once the tobacco is included in the Briar cigar, it really doesn't matter in which position the pipe is actually placed, or I should say the Briar cigar, because the tobacco that's put inside the chamber, once tamped, seems to stay put. And at the very least, one might actually tap the ash of their tamped tobacco in the Briar cigar into an ashtray of their choice. Thus far, like I've said, the only tobacco I've actually smoked out of my Briar cigar so far is Mississippi River, which I'd like to add was on the top of my top 10 list of pipe tobaccos for 2014. Just a brief glimpse into that list, since I did not unfortunately post it to YouTube. That list included such notables as Frogmorton's Cellar, Lane 1Q, and of course the Seattle Pipe Club's Mississippi River. I will say that in that list of my top 10 personally was Sutliff's brand of tobaccos. There were a variety of tobaccos. At some point here in the very near future, I would like to go ahead and do a belated top 10. But as a newbie pipe smoker, I would have to say that Sutliff does tend to cover all of the bases for me personally. I have noticed that, and I will go ahead and let you guys know as YouTube viewers, though my initial appreciation was intended to lean in the direction of aromatics as opposed to the English blends, which was a professional opinion bestowed upon me by my local tobacconist. The more that I've delved into pipe tobaccos and pipe smoking, I actually have found that my appreciation for the English blends has grown considerably. So I will let you guys know in advance that my own personal top 10 for 2014 and the early part of 2015 will include both aromatics and English blends. Again, I think that the correspondence of those two types together really has a lot to do, perhaps, with my newbie status. Though my tastes remain pretty much the same at my age. So I would like to think that I am a connoisseur of pipe tobaccos, be they aromatics or English blends, and that I can cross both genres of pipe tobaccos without a whole lot of prejudice. In any event, back to the Briar cigar. Like I said, Mississippi River. I know it was suggested that tobacco flakes be smoked in this, and that there was a fairly substantial learning curve. My personal take, folks, is if you have an ounce of common sense, which seems to be in high demand these days and not so prevalent, but again, use common sense. And honestly, packing the Briar cigar with any tobacco, I started out by packing the Mississippi River, hitting it in this manner, and then once it was tamped, after the initial two lights, the one to char the tobacco and the one to light the tobacco, I actually noticed that regardless of what I did, the tobacco stayed in the chamber nonetheless. So that's my personal experience. Again, I think pipe smoking, tobacco tastes, and even the choices of pipes are really subjective. So I won't tell you what may happen to you, what your experience may be. And again, looking back on Chris Morgan's own video and the Instagram texting that I did with Chris Morgan, he suggested that I check out the learning curve of the Briar cigar by watching other videos. And I suggest that you do the same. For me, the Briar cigar has been awesome straight out of the box. First bowl, Mississippi River. Great smoke, folks. And again, it's not going to come out of the pipe. I mean, we're shaking, we're doing everything that we can for the tobacco to fall out of the end of this chamber. And it's not happening. It's not happening. And yes, it may require a few lights. And it may even require a few tamps. You know, who am I to be a judge? It's new to me. My initial perceptions of the Briar cigar are very positive. And for me, I don't feel that there's much of a learning curve. You know, if there is a learning curve at all, I simply think it's just taking the mindset of a bowl versus a tube out of the equation. But I think that you'll find once you pack your favorite tobacco in the Briar cigar, light it and tamp it, you're really honestly good to go. And for those of you that may be in a limited time frame, you're at work, you have a 10-minute break, a 15-minute break, you've packed your favorite tobacco, you've hit it a couple of times, it's time to go in. I'd say screw the cap back on, drop it into your shirt pocket, and get back to work. When you're ready to go out and finish the bowl, again, a light or two, a few tamps. In my opinion, folks, you're good to go. You know, I like the concept. And as a nail smoker myself, looking to quit smoking cigarettes, granted, yes, just a little bit larger in diameter than the nails I've spent the better part of 40 years smoking, I think it's a great alternative. I think Chris Morgan is onto something. And I think that you, the YouTube viewer, could benefit by purchasing a Briar cigar, by trying out your favorite tobacco blends, and taking your pipe smoking, your nail smoking, your cigar smoking to the next level. Is he onto something? The piping beardsman, I'd have to say that he is. I'd love to see each and every one of you guys out there support an artisan pipe maker. Try the Briar cigar and let the rest of us know your own personal thoughts. Again, this is the Piping Beardsman coming at you live with a Chris Morgan and Morgan Pipes Briar Cigar. Thank you so much for watching. Pipe on and beard on.